Hello! Oh, I need to start this like a normal person. Go away. Did I tell you this is by Dave Barry, Ridley Pearson. Dave Barry, Ridley Pearson, I think, are the two authors. Dooba-dooba-doo. Yes. So we're gonna have a book date, and then we woke up to election news. We're very happy over here. So that is not the point of me doing this video. Kind of sort of got, lost my voice there, so that was fun. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey, and we're about to get very, very nerdy with Believathon round 3. So today is November 1st, which means it's the first day of Believathon. Who's excited? I am. But we are like literally about to walk out the door for church. But I wanted to actually start this vlog on like the morning of the first day and tell you guys what I'll be starting with reading. So according to like Gavin's fancy rules, I'll leave his announcement video down below. But according to his rules, you can do them in any order except for the very first prompt has to be first, which is the key, because it's all about a mystery and a mansion, and you need the key to get into the mansion. So the key is to read a mystery. So I'm going to be picking up A Green Glass House by Kate Milford first. I'm picking this with me because we're going to church early because Chris is doing musical things, and so I usually just sit and read and wait for him to do musical things. So I'll be
I already finished mine.
He's already finished a book. It's fine. We're not competing. Okay, in my defense, where's the book? It's like this big. It's tiny.
It's 9:30 and you're already behind.
I'm done with you. Anyway, so this is the book that I will be picking up first. It is revolving a inn where it's during a season when lots of people don't show up. The kid of the innkeeper is actually like discovering that people are showing up, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. I don't know, but it's super snowy and it's real cold outside today. So like, perfect day to start this. But that's the first book I'm starting with. We'll update you later, but just wanted to officially start this vlog, and yay Believathon! It is a day of the week. It is Thursday. I'm working with a weird ring light for your phone because it's so dark outside that I have no light to film on. But it's Thursday, which has been quite a few days since I talked to you last. But I do finally have updates for you. I haven't been reading too much this week until about today, because I don't think I'll talk about this one. In my September vlogs, if you watched those, you will have known that like on the weekends, I literally didn't do anything except for study for this licensing test that I had to take for work. Well, I didn't do anything but study this week because it was yesterday. I passed it, so like that's great, but I haven't been reading because I've been doing like last minute studying for it because it stressed me out so much. But everything is good, and so I have my weekends back, which I haven't had for 2 months, and I can now read and not use every spare minute to study. And I didn't even really procrastinate on studying, so like, I was just really nervous. Anyway, so with that being said, I haven't talked to you because I haven't done anything, and I also haven't had to show you anything, or don't have anything to show you. But I do have updates because today I finished Green Glass House by Kate Milford, which was the very first prompt that I needed to read. This is my first Believathon read, which was the key to read a mystery. And I finished it, so now officially, like, been allowed to go into the manor and now read whatever the crap I want in whatever order. So I ended up giving this one 4.5 stars. I loved this book so much. It took a turn at the end that, like, I'm not even kidding you, like, seconds before the reveal happened, I guessed it because I was like, oh, that's going to be so funny if, like, this specific thing happened. Not funny, but, like, you know what I mean. And then it did. And I was shooketh. I feel like my light is going. Okay, we moved spots because my light was dying. So I have been reading. I finished Green Glass House. That's what I was saying. So this follows 12-year-old Milo, who is adopted, and his parents own this inn that's called Green Glass House, and that's where they live. And it's during winter break, and not a lot of people come during winter break because it's like the down season. But then all of a sudden, like 5 or 6 guests just all show up. Not the normal guests that they have at this inn, because a lot of the guests who stay there are smugglers, and none of these guests are smugglers. So they're trying to figure out, him and this other girl named Meddy, who's also in the inn, are trying to figure out the link, the connection, why all these people showed up randomly, and, like, why they're there, basically. And they do it in the disguise of, like, they're playing, like, a D&D campaign, but in real life. And so, like, they're going through this house and they're researching all the stuff about this house. And so, like, they're solving a real mystery, but they're doing it with, like, incredible amounts of imagination throughout the way, like, along the way, because they're doing it kind of like they're living these characters. They've created these characters for themselves, and, like, that's how they're going about this. It was so cool to, like, see that, because, like, that's, if I was in his shoes, that's what I would have done. Because, like, when I was a kid, well, still now, but, like, when I was a kid, I had a redonkulous imagination, and I would have done this. So, like, the reasons I gave it such a high rating are all to do with the ending, which I cannot tell you even the slightest bit about. But this is for sure, like, an atmospheric read. I would read this in December because it revolves around Christmas. Like, that's the whole, like, winter break is because of Christmas. And so they celebrate Christmas. They have a tree. This ends on Christmas Day, I think. Yeah, that sounds right. And so, like, presents are happening, and, like, all of the fun Christmas stuff is happening at this time. So, like, this definitely made me cold. I'm reading it, and, like, as you can see from the cover, they, like, are in a snowy area, and it was cold. And also, like, where I live, it's been super cold this week, and this was just, like, a perfect week because I just wanted to snuggle up. This is a great cozy read, so, like, if you want to cozy up, this is the book to read. But I finished it, and it was my first book, and I gave it 4.5 stars. So this is a great start. It was a great mystery, and it's making me realize I would like to read more mystery books, and I just don't. And I'm not sure why that is. So let's see if we can fix that in the future. But I read this because of Gavin. So thanks, Gavin. It was a great recommendation. And my first book done. So from there, I am moving on to, what is this for? To The Crown, which is to read a book set in an alternate world. So I am reading Peter and the Shadow Thieves. I've taken the cover off of it, but it's so pretty under the cover. Dave Barrier and Ridley Pearson are the two authors. This is the sequel to Peter and the Starcatchers, which is kind of like a middle grade reimagining of Peter Pan. And I literally have no idea where it's going in this. I've read about 10 chapters, which sounds greater than it is. I'm about 70 pages through, so, like, not even, but these chapters are like 2 or 3 pages. Maybe, oh, that's a beautiful picture. This is not a pretty story already. And I forgot how, like, oh, I just got hair in my eye. That hurt. Like, I'll show you the picture they have at the beginning, because, like, nothing about the story is pretty, per se. Like, this is one of the characters. He doesn't have a nose. yeah, this is middle grade, which still surprises me to this day, because, like, there are just things that are talked about in here that I feel like are really adult, and, like, gruesome moments. I remember that from the first one, so I'm still excited to see, like, where this is gonna go, because, like I said, I literally have no idea what this book is about. I'm not even sure where we're going from here. I'm excited, but this is, like, I'm pretty sure my biggest book on the TBR. Maybe the one by Soman Chainani, School for Good and Evil #6. But I'm trying to get the chunky ones out of the way. So this is not on my TBR basket TBR. Neither was this one. So, starting off great. But I wanted to get this one out of the way. That sounds bad, but, like, you know what I mean. Get the big ones out first so that I can finish the month with the smaller ones. Even though there's not really many small ones on this list. Now I'm just rambling. But that is my reading update. Finished a book, started another one. I'm excited. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm listening to the audiobook. But before I go away, I do have a fun unboxing for you, because I got candles from Grace and Honey by Becca. I opened the box because I've got 3 outstanding orders. I was trying to figure out which one this one was. This is actually my second order, which is the Reader's Bundle candles. I did have a first order that was the Fall Bundle, as well as a Believathon candle, which isn't here yet, and I'm a little worried, but I'm trying not to stress. Because, like, I live in the US, she lives in the UK. I'm sure there's weird things that happen between those, like, shipping-wise. And also, like, she's crazy stressed right now because, like, so many things are happening with her candle shop that I don't want to reach out yet. So we'll give it a few more weeks. But anyway, I have them here. So I haven't unboxed them. I literally just opened it so I would know which ones we were talking about. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So the first one I opened up was Treat Yo Shelf, and this is raspberry candy floss licorice, strawberry, and caramel. This smells like candy, like, it smells like sweet, and I usually am not a fan of the sweet candles, but, like, this is the type of sweet that is not too much, you know what I mean? This is very, like, I'm getting the candy floss, and I'm getting the strawberry. And then we've got the Go Away I'm Reading candle, which is, like, gray and white, I guess is the way to do it. And that one is lavender, lilac, warm woods, and some kind of vanilla. This is one that I was the most excited about because lavender is my favorite scent, as well as lilac. But this one, this is like a clean scent. Oh, I was worried the vanilla was going to be overpowering because I like vanilla, but if it's too sweet, I don't like it. This, I think this is my favorite scent so far. If you watch my September vlogs, I got 3 candles there too, and there's one that I liked a lot because it had lilac in it, but, like, this one is very lavender, which is very relaxing. This is a perfect I'm taking a relaxing bath scent. And then the last one, all of the lids got a little unscrewed in transit. The last one is I like big books and I cannot lie. And this one is kind of like a yellow. This one is orange limes chocolate, something and vanilla. Ooh, oh my. It's very chocolatey, but it's also very orangey. I don't know if you guys put, like, orange, like, if you ever get that orange chocolate that has, like, orange flavoring in it, it's, like, the best thing ever. That's what this smells like. It kind of reminds me of a Tootsie Roll Pop, or just like a Tootsie Roll. So those are the candles. Those are my updates. I'll talk to you probably in a couple of days. We'll see what this vlog looks like in the end, because I've done nothing for like 3 days. I plan on reading a lot on the weekend because I haven't just had time to just sit down and read in so long. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get into some fun middle grade. It's gonna be a good week, you guys. I'll talk to you again when I have more to say. Have you seen this? You're propped up on some books and you can definitely see it right now. Good job, Kelsey. the 7th. Is that right? It is. Today's been a whirlwind of a day, to be honest. I had full intentions of running some errands, and I had convinced my husband last night to come with me to Books A Million, because there's one near us, so we're gonna have a book date. And then we woke up to election news. We're very happy over here. I'm coming in to say hello. It's Saturday, because, like I said, I convinced my husband to go to Books A Million with me, and we learned early this morning that it's actually Book Lovers Day. So we went to Books A Million, and then we ended up going to a discount book warehouse that's near us, and got some things. So I thought I would show them to you, because I thought I would show you what's in here. I am literally just gonna pull from the bags that are in here, and it's gonna be real quick because like half of these are my husband's and I don't know what they're about because they're all by the same author. But I thought I would show you some of the things that I picked up, so let's make lots of noise. The first book that I picked out of the bag is actually a nonfiction book, and that is this book about Henry VIII by Alison Weir. She is actually a historian, but she does also write fiction books as well. I've actually got one on my top shelf somewhere that is one about Queen Elizabeth, who is Henry VIII's daughter. The next one I picked up, ooh, it's got a sticker right across the cover, is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I read this book in September and loved it. I own Clap New Land by her, and Clap New Land and Poet X are like my two favorites of hers, but this is a book written in verse. And I loved it. So I am really excited because I want to read this again, and then now I can tab all of the fun things that I loved the first time. The next one I picked up was Slay by Brittany Morris. This basically follows a 17-year-old girl who has created a game, like an online game for Black gamers so that they can feel accepted and welcome and like it's their space so that they're safe. But then there's a death surrounding this game, and then there's lots of talk of like racism and all of the things that need to be discussed. So I've been wanting to get my hands on this one for a while. And also, isn't this cover just like stunning? The next one I picked up is actually a middle grade. It might be the only middle grade. No, I don't know. It might be the only middle grade I picked up, but that is called Beyond the Canvas by Alexander Vance. This basically follows our main character, Claudia, who loves art, and then one day sees a boy in art and talks to him and discovers that he's been trapped by like a sorceress or a witch or something, and so she becomes friends with him and tries to get him freed from the canvas. The next one I picked up was one that was really popular this summer, and honestly probably won't read it until the summer. Oh, there's still a Target sticker on here. I'll get that later. But that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is like a romance between two authors who don't really like each other, and they decide to try out the other author's things. So like one of them writes literary fiction and the other one writes romance, I want to say, and so they try the opposite author's type of story. And I think that there is a romance between them. Also, I've heard that this like touches on quite a lot of things, but it sounds amazing. I love romances, y'all know this, so I had to get my hands on this. And also it's a fun floppy paperback. We like that. The next one that I picked up was Sadie by Courtney Summers. I read this book last year sometime, but this is basically like a podcast in a book. I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about this, but it's this girl who is trying to figure out what happens to her sister, because her sister, I believe, ends up dead or is missing. And then there's a second part of the story, which is a man who does the podcast and just tries to figure out what happened to Sadie, because it's been like a few months since Sadie left to figure out what's going on with her sister. And it's very, very well done, and I got my own copy finally because I really like that book. The next one that I picked up is actually, well, it's kind of funny, and that is Heatwave by Richard Castle. This is the book that was written in the show Castle that was on ABC. He was a like thriller detective type of writer, and he was shadowing a detective in her company, or her group, and so this is the book that he wrote during the show, And there are a few out there that are written by Richard Castle, which is an alias. I don't actually know who has written these, but this is just the one that he was actually writing when he was, in theory, timeline-wise, this is the book that he wrote during the show. So, my husband really likes this show, and I didn't finish it all the way, but I did enjoy it from what I have seen. It's one of those shows that, like, eventually I need to watch all the way through, because I've seen many episodes, and I do like it. But that's the book. I have no idea what it's about. It's a detective mystery. The next one I picked up is My Lady Jane, by the Lady Janie, Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is purely because it was in hardback, and it was real cheap, and the version of this I have is the paperback version, and the other two in this series are hardbacks, and when they come out with their Lady Marie series that they're doing, I'm going to want those in hardback as well, because I really love their work, so I want all of them to match. That's it. That's all I got. So the next one I picked up was a nonfiction book, another one, and that is To Marry an English Lord, and that is Tales of Wealth and Marriage, Sex and Snobbery. So this is basically just like a collection of tales of different people in England. And I don't know if there's like a specific time. This is 1895. So this is just kind of like a collection of things that happened during this time period. It was the inspiration for the popular television show Downton Abbey. Didn't know that when I picked it up. I literally just thought it sounded interesting. Well, now I want to read it even more. The next one I picked up was actually the last one on the stack that's for me, and the rest are for my husband, and that is Pride and Prejudice and Other Flavors by Sonali Dev. This, I used to know what this is about, and I really don't remember the details of it, but obviously it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling. I know that Lisa from Remarkably Lisa has talked about this, and I believe there's another one that's a retelling of Persuasion, and like, those are my two favorite Jane Austen books. So, yes. But I think this involves food. I'm not entirely sure. When I do my haul, I'll do a better version of this one, but it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling. I feel like I don't need to say anything else. Alright, so the next 5 are all books for my husband, and I'm doing them together because they are all John Grisham books, which, if you've been on here at any point, y'all know that my husband's favorite author is John Grisham, or at least one of them. So some of these are new, some of these are replacements for ones that we've had. There are some that are like really tiny paperbacks that we're trying to replace so that the shelf looks nice and neat, and that they're all in hardback. So some of these I don't actually know. Like one I recognize the name of, but I don't remember what's replacement and what's a new one for him. And some of the stickers are just being real mean. But we've got The Litigators, and then we have Grey Mountain. We've got Rogue Lawyer, which I believe this one is a replacement. We have The Whistler, which I also believe is a replacement. And then we have The Confession. I know what none of these are about, but he likes to do legal thrillers, so a lot of his books revolve around legality and lawyers and stuff like that. So those are all of the books that we picked up today. I told you guys we went crazy, but I need to go put all of these in my little planner so I know what I actually purchased this month. And then my plan is to go and read in the living room with my husband. He is watching football. There's a game on tonight. But I do want to sit down and actually like read, because I haven't done that in such a long time and I miss it. So I think what's going to happen is, this is the book that I've been reading, which you guys know is Peter and the Shadow Thieves. I spent way too much time in traffic yesterday, so I had a lot of time to listen to the audiobook. So I am 300 pages in. It is very good. I very much enjoy this, but I do like having 2 books going at once, where I have an audiobook and a physical read. So I think I'm going to pick up The House with the Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson as my physical read. This is for the prompt of, I don't remember. The Flash of Lightning, which is to read a book incorporating folktales, and this has to do with the story of Baba Yaga. So I know nothing about what this is really about, except for that there's a house with chicken legs, and the girl wants to not live in the house with chicken legs. And I've heard it's amazing. This cover is stunning, so that's going to be my physical read, and then I might pick this one up as well. Just kind of depends. That is my update. I'm going to go do things now. Sunday night, the 8th, which means it's the end of week 1 of Believathon. And I have a little bit of an update for you. Not really before we head out. I have made progress in both of the books that I am currently reading. As you guys know, I was reading Peter and the Shadow Thieves. Starcatchers was the first one. I think I was on page 300 the last time. I listened to a little bit today while I was doing some stuff around the house. And I'm on page 373 now, so just a little bit farther. I'm like 66% of the way through, I think is what Goodreads says. I'm really enjoying it. This is just a whole lot of fun. And my husband and I were talking about this series because these books are not small. And like the font isn't particularly small either. It's not large, but it's not small either. It's just kind of like a normal font. But these books fly by so quickly, and we think that it's because it's so action-packed and that there's not a whole lot of breathing time, and not the fact that there's so much happening that you can't catch your breath, but like there's ongoing action. There's never any just kind of boring downtime. There's always something always something happening, which we both really appreciate, and that kind of pushes the plot through, so you get through these books a lot quicker. And I think that's what's happening with this one, but I'm really enjoying it. It's very interesting because we're seeing some characters that we saw in the first book that I wasn't quite sure we were going to see again. We're seeing some characters pop up, like let's see, there's a George Darling that pops up, and we haven't seen the Darlings yet, and we see the author of the original Peter Pan, James. Please notice James M. Barrie, but James Barrie shows up for a hot second in this one. So it's just really cool to see all of the little nods to the original, or, you know, the original story that we know. And then like the evil guy here on the cover, I think sticks around. Like this is the evil guy that sticks around for a while. The first book we were kind of getting to know all the characters, and we really kind of got to figure out who Hook was. And this one we're getting like the overall series-wise evil guy, I think. We're not sure. He's creepy. Not a huge fan. I'm listening to this on audiobook, so Jim Dale, who does this audiobook, also does the Harry Potter audiobooks. So like whenever he does the evil guy, makes him sound like Voldemort. So like now I just picture Voldemort whenever I am reading this section, or like listening to this guy specifically, but he's creepy. Not a huge fan. But I am really enjoying this one, so I expect I've got 150 pages, maybe a little bit more than that, but less than 200 pages to go. So I expect to finish this one tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, real soon. So that's exciting. So I've been reading that one, and then I've also been reading The House with the Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. There's no chapters in here. I mean, there are, but there's no chapter numbers, so I'm not entirely sure what chapter I'm on. 4 chapters in, I think. That sounds right, with the prologue. And that's about 60 pages in, so I don't actually know how far I'm into it. Not too far, but I am enjoying it. I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen, because like our main character, Marinka, does not like living in this house with the chicken legs. She wants to live in one place. She doesn't want to be Baba Yaga and carry on this tradition that her Baba Yaga, her grandmother, is doing. It's basically like she's destined to do this exact same thing where she helps the dead cross over, basically. And she does not want to do that. She wants to leave this house. Not sure what the plot is of this book. I know that she like wants to leave this house, but like the house has other ideas, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen. But it's really fast. I just haven't had a lot of time to actually sit down and read. But when I do read, it goes by really quickly. So I think I'm going to enjoy this book, which is great. I just have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm not even quite sure what the main plot of this book is yet. So we'll investigate this more next week. But those are really my only updates. The only recap I have for this week is that I finished a book, which was Green Glass House, which I gave 4.5 stars to. So overall, a really good week. Not as much reading as I wanted, but let's hope that next week is a little bit more. I will have more time during the week because I will not be studying, which will be great. But thank you guys so much for joining me for week 1. If you guys are participating in the Believathon, I would love to know what your current reads are, or if you were able to finish any reads in the first week. Please let me know it down below, or if you're just reading anything fun. I would love to know that as well. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there as well if you want to follow along on any of those. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!